When it comes to psychological horror, few settings are as chilling as feudal Japan, a time and place steeped in eerie folklore and supernatural legends. Ikai, developed by the Spanish indie studio Endflame, takes full advantage of this rich cultural backdrop, delivering a slow-burning horror experience that leans heavily on Japanese mythology and traditional yokai tales. Originally released in 2022 for all platforms, Ikai seeks to immerse players in a first-person horror journey where the mind is just as vulnerable as the body. What sets Ikai apart from many modern horror games is its commitment to psychological tension over cheap jump scares. Inspired by classic Japanese horror cinema, it focuses on atmosphere, exploration, and solving puzzles while evading vengeful spirits. The game places you in the role of Naoko, a priestess who finds herself trapped in a nightmare of supernatural entities and twisted folklore that have come to life. With no weapons to fight back, players must rely on stealth, wits, and an ancient form of protective calligraphy to ward off the horrors lurking in the darkness. Endflame, a small 3-person development team based in Barcelona, crafted Ikai as a love letter to traditional Japanese horror, drawing from myths and ghost stories passed down throughout generations. The team worked to create an immersive experience that feels authentic and unnerving. The game's hand-drawn aesthetic, atmospheric sound design, and slow-paced, tension-filled gameplay take clear inspiration from classics like Fatal Frame and Kuon, yet it carves out its own identity by embracing the vulnerability of the protagonist and the helplessness the player feels when confronted by the unknown. The game first gained attention through its demo, which showcased its eerie environments and unsettling mechanics, generating intrigue among horror fans. When Ikai finally launched, it was met with a mix of praise and critique, with some players appreciating its commitment to slow, methodical horror, while others found its mechanics to be frustrating and repetitive. The horror genre, especially for fans of folklore-based horror experiences. At its core, Ikai is a first-person survival horror game where the primary objective is to explore, solve puzzles, and avoid supernatural threats. Instead of combat, players must use their surroundings, their knowledge of yokai lore, and the precise calligraphy mechanics to survive. One of the most unique aspects of the game is its brushwork system, where players must physically draw protective seals to ward off spirits, adding an element of tension as precision and speed are crucial in dire moments. The game's pacing is deliberately slow, allowing players to absorb the unsettling atmosphere while gradually unraveling the mystery surrounding Naoko's predicament. The sound design is particularly effective, using silence and environmental audio cues to create a sense of dread, while the visuals bring feudal Japan's eerie legends to life with dark, hand-painted environments and chilling yokai designs. The game does have some spooky chase sequences that provide some anxiety and tension when drawing on the talismans, but with little jump scares and common horror tropes, I found the gameplay loop to be a bit redundant. The game is not that scary. I give the spook factor a 3 out of 10, and I give the overall game a 6.5 out of 10. The sound design was very fitting. Final verdict. Ikai is a unique take on horror that thrives on its eerie folklore and immersive atmosphere. While its slow pace and puzzle-heavy gameplay might not appeal to every horror fan, those who appreciate a methodical, lore-driven experience will find plenty to admire. The game's use of Japanese mythology, along with its tense, combat-free approach, makes it stand out among indie horror titles. Whether it leaves a lasting mark or fades into the shadows of the genre depends on how much players are willing to embrace its eerie storytelling and unsettling mechanics.